afternoon, everyone. My name is Joey Cuzzy. I'm the Executive Director of NECAT. And I just want to thank you all already so much for being here and supporting this amazing cohort of graduates. They're called the Elite 32, Cohort 32. For those of you, friends and family who may not know, NECAT is a 16-week culinary arts job training program. The goal here is after 16 weeks of hard work, culinary skills development, life skills, career readiness, our graduates are ready for a job in an industry in Boston that desperately needs qualified workers. There's no reason for anyone here not to have a job other than maybe they're not quite ready at this point in their life for a job, because they need you. They need you desperately. And you're well qualified and you're well prepared to go out and start the beginning of your life. NECAT is more than a culinary arts job training program. We really believe that everyone deserves to live a life of purpose, that regardless of what your background is, where you came from, what problems you may have had in your life, whether you've just never had any vocational training, doesn't matter. We are judgment-free. We don't care where you came from, but we do care about where you're going. And we know, based on what you all told us this morning at our ceremony as you're moving on, that you have great plans. And we have all the confidence in the world that you're going to accomplish what you need to do. In general, 65% of our enrollees graduate. Of them, more than 75 to 80% get a job immediately upon graduation. And most of them stay and keep those jobs for the first year of their employment. So they are ready. They work really, really hard. And all I really want to say to you is remember the things that we stressed every single day. That no matter where you go to work, whether you're in a culinary position or you decide to choose something else, all the things that we talk about every single day, why it's important to be present, why it's important to center yourself before you start the day, why it's important to be on time, why it's important to work as part of a team, why it's important to know how to resolve your conflicts positively, and how to remember that your past doesn't define your future and a mistake doesn't derail you for the rest of your life. You just learn from it and you keep moving on. If you keep those lessons with you, there is nothing that you can't accomplish, and that's all that we hope for you. That's all that we wish for you as graduates, cohort 32 of NECAT. Unfortunately, our chairman of the board, Tomaten Hensley, who made all of this possible, is not with us today. He's in the UK. He sends his fondest congratulations to all of you. I know you've met him at some point in time, and he's always here, so even if you come back, you'll continue to see him. Members of our board are here. If you would just please stand and be acknowledged. Joanne Massaro, Rebecca Hensley. And just very quickly, because it takes a team, I may be the figurehead, but there's a team of people here who make this work every day. I'd like to just acknowledge our staff very quickly, starting here with Deputy Director Martha Leahy. Who is one of the So it's an especially exciting day today because we have two wonderful guests who are joining us for the first time. Let me introduce our first speaker today, Senator Nick Collins, who is a state senator from the 1st Suffolk District, representing the Boston neighborhoods of South Boston, Dorchester, Mattapan, part of Hyde Park, part of where we all live. A lifelong Boston resident, Senator Collins has been working on Beacon Hill for 10 years now, first in the House of Representatives and most recently in the Senate. He currently serves on a number of committees, including Economic Development, Emerging Technologies, Ways and Means, Housing and Veterans Affairs. I love this quote. According to the Boston Globe, Senator Collins has his finger on the pulse of every major issue in the district. Substance order recovery, the need for reentry jobs, people leaving incarceration, the continued expansion of the South Boston waterfront, and programs that jumpstart development in Boston's poorest neighborhoods. He has a reputation for being a tireless worker and someone who strongly supports workforce development programs like ours. To keep our program free, this is a tuition-free program, enabling as many people as possible to take advantage of our job training, we rely on a number of sources, from private foundation grants, individual donors, fundraising activities, and government support. And getting government funding isn't easy, as we compete with many other very worthy nonprofits in the state. But Senator Collins took up our cause this year, and because of his outspoken advocacy, leadership, and unfailing dedication to us, we were awarded $300,000 in the state budget. For a small organization like us, that's an enormous benefit, allowing us to keep our doors open and continue our important job training role. So thankfully for us, Senator Collins believes his role in government is to ensure equality, justice, and opportunity, which is what he fights for every day. Please welcome Senator Nick Collins.
Thank you, Joey, and to the board, the staff, the caseworker team, the trainees, the trainers, and particularly the families that are here supporting the graduates today, and your support all along. I know that having that kind of support, as someone who does what I do, I couldn't do that without the support of my family. So I know when we are at our best, pushing ourselves to do our best, we have someone there supporting us. And so to all you, thank you for being here. To cohort 32, congratulations. I know it's probably a grind, like anything that's worth it, over the last few weeks. You know, I'm honored to be here in this capacity as a senator for this district. I know there must be some folks in the room from Dorchester, Mattapan, South Boston, Hyde Park. Anybody? You. No? Yeah. All right. Oh. Mimi, hello. Mimi Turkers. And so I got a chance to see this place in action. So it's not my first time here. I came for a visit earlier. I didn't get to speak, probably for a lot of reasons, but I got a chance to see this place, and I got a chance to see it, smell it, and believe in it. And before our budget efforts, also got a call from the mayor, and when the mayor calls, you know, you respond. And so having the support of the mayor on not just this program, but on workforce development, on vocational training, as someone who came up through the ranks the same way, and it should be an inspiration to all of us for how you know, economic empowerment can really take people off in incredible directions, and that's what I've focused on in the legislature, is both supporting our youth in family health, but really trying to empower in different ways communities across our city and our state. So it's really an honor to be here. I'm also excited to be here because I'm supposed to be cooking tonight for my family, and I need a little inspiration. So I'm looking forward to your suggestions afterwards. But just wanted to say that you continue to have an ally in me and my team in the legislature. We're honored to be here to support you. Excited about what's next. I know a lot of your colleagues before you have gone on to the Encore and other exciting opportunities. So we look forward to seeing you out there in the marketplace. So congratulations and Happy New Year.
Mayor, I tried to prevent him from being up here, but it was impossible. I tried. It's my privilege now to introduce Boston's mayor, the Honorable Martin J. Walsh, a lifelong champion of working people and residents of the city, born and raised in Dorchester, where I know many of you call home. Mayor Walsh is driven to make sure that Boston is a city where anyone can overcome their challenges and fulfill their dreams. This is exactly what NECAT's about, so we dovetail our missions very closely. And many of the city initiatives established during his tenure are programs that have had a profound effect on NECAT. We hear a lot about his school initiatives like adding kindergarten seats and funding extended learning and securing tuition-free community college for public school graduates, but we don't often hear about all the workforce development and economic development initiatives that support training programs like ours that help us thrive and grow every year, and helps you, our participants, obtain all the services that you need to be successful. For example, we have a partnership with the Office of Financial Empowerment, helping us teach financial literacy and providing individualized financial counseling to students while they're with us and once they graduate. We work closely with the Office of Recovery Services on destigmatizing substance abuse disorders and referring participants to services and assistance that they need when they need them. We work with the Office of Returning Citizens, opening our doors for training to people returning from incarceration without prejudice or judgment. We're included in many city-sponsored neighborhood events where our students get to volunteer and hone their culinary skills. We receive job training grants specifically for Boston residents through the Neighborhood Jobs Trust, Community Development Block Grants, and capital funding for special initiatives that help us keep this facility as top-notch as we can be. Enhancements where we get money through the Department of Neighborhood Development. So as you can see, we're intrinsically linked with the city, and we're enormously grateful that you continue to support programs like ours, because without emphasis on programs like NECAT, they can fall by the wayside very easily, and we've seen that happen in the past. But I don't believe that's ever going to happen as long as we have Mayor Marty Walsh at the helm. So thank you very much. So, and we're not big time. So a few.
A few. You said a lot, so it's only a few words I can say, but just want to say the mayor's a good friend of mine, and he always comes out. And for me, for young people, I love this man because when you're looking for resources for young people, this man has provided so many resources. Probably one on your corner you don't even know, but just wanted to say for the cohort 32, you wanted the elite, I brought the elite. All right, congratulations. All right, Mayor Marty Walsh.
Thank you very much, big time for that. And I want to thank you. I want to thank Joey for that introduction. I want to thank the entire team here at NECAT. The board members, thank you for your commitment, because without strong board members, organizations aren't as strong as they need to be. And clearly, when you have 32 graduating classes here, that shows you the strength of a program. So thank you to the board members. To the staff that's here, all of you, I know that you go above and beyond your title. I want to thank you as well for what you do and what you mean to this incredible program. Tomaten Hensley, who couldn't be here today, I met Martin in 2012 in my office at the State House, room 540. He came to me with this idea of NECAT. He had brochures, and he had pictures, and he had this, and he had that, and I had no idea really who he was, and he was talking about how he was going to do this, and he needed help with the building trades to build the space out, and he needed help with contractors to do the work, and he wanted to talk about helping people out, and he went on and on and on. I think I met with him about 150 times. As luck would have it, the program opens up, I become mayor of the city of Boston, and we've been able to have partnerships. I have not been here, and I apologize for that. I should have been here. Martin's texted me and called me and FaceTime me and Instagram me. He's done everything to get me here, and I'm here, and he's not here, so I don't know what the heck that means. So I want to thank Martin. He's going to call me. To the friends and family, you should be proud today. This is a great accomplishment, and I want to congratulate you as well. I want to give a shout out to Nick Collins. You know, when you think about funding in this time and place, it's very complicated. When I first became a state rep in 1997, there was a lot of money around, there was a lot of earmarks, and we were able to get programs and help programs. And over time, those earmarks went away, and over time, the money went away, and the priorities became different. And Nick certainly is a person who fights hard for his district, but he also fights hard for programs that make a difference. And his fighting for this money, for this program, I don't know if anyone understands the importance of how hard that is actually to do, but I want to commend Nick Collins and his office for the great work they do in getting this in the budget, and thanking us for that. Today it's about the graduates, so I want to congratulate each and every one of you. All of you should be very proud of your accomplishment here today. It's something that, yeah, that's right. You know, some of you have overcome huge, big challenges to make it to this point. Life's not easy. Life's not easy for a lot of people, and some people have bigger struggles than others. And the struggles, the challenge that you've had to overcome to this particular moment in time is something that's really important. You're resilient, you're talented, you work hard, you've developed new skills while you're here. something that you probably never really thought of. Many of you might have been cooks and chefs and prepared something, but now you think about the opportunities that you have today that are in front of you that you didn't have before you started this program. You've worked hard. You're all ready to take the next step, and that's something that's really important. I've had some ups and downs in my life, and I think about this all the time, and I talk to people all the time about life. Everyone's life is a book. Everyone's life story is a book. Our stories are different. Some of our stories start off nice and peachy, they become very rosy, they go up, they go down, and they end how they end. My life story is I'm a child of immigrants. My parents came from Ireland in the 50s. They met here, they got married. They had 2 boys. As a young kid, I had cancer. I grew up literally up the street. Go up Mass Ave to Everett Square. That's my neighborhood right there, Everett Square. I hung at the Blakey. I hung at the Affy up the street. I lived on Taft Street. I grew up in that neighborhood. Kentucky Fried Chicken was my place. It used to be Store 24. It's Tedeschi's now. We still call it Store 24. But that's the area. That's the area I grew up in. I went to St. Margaret's Grammar School, which is on Columbia Road. I went to Everett for kindergarten, down the Everett School for kindergarten. I went to Newman Prep High School. In the Back Bay. The prep sounds more than a prep. It was a prep school, but not really a prep school. Not the prep school we all think of a prep school. But when I was a kid, and at 7 years old, I had cancer. I had Burkitt's lymphoma, and I was diagnosed with cancer. And because of my community, and because of prayers, and because of the medicine, and being born in the city of Boston, I had the opportunity to survive that. When I had Burkitt's lymphoma at the age of 7, the survival rate was 30%. And thank God, you know, with Dana Farmer and Children's Hospital and all those places, I was able to kind of survive that. I was not a good student in high school. I was not a good student in high school. As a matter of fact, I really didn't like school. I barely got out of high school. I didn't get accepted to Suffolk. I wanted to go to Suffolk University. I didn't get accepted. I got a rejection letter, and anyone who gets rejection letters, it was not my first rejection letter, and it's certainly not my last. And I went to Quincy Junior College because I wanted to go to college, so I wanted to be in politics. And when I went to college, I went to Quincy Junior that year. I was there for a year, and I realized I could do the work. I thought I was dumb, quite honestly. I didn't think I could do the work. Other people around me were better. They could read books and comprehend it. They could write papers. I couldn't do that. I felt a lot of things I couldn't do. But when I went to college that first year, I realized, wow, I can do this. And I transferred into Suffolk University. And I went there for 1 semester. And when I was in Suffolk University, I had a bright idea. My father was in the building trades, and I had worked summers in the building trades. And I thought that I wanted to take time off of school and go work in the building trades and make some money. And I did. And people told me, you're not going to go back to school. And I had dreams. My dream and aspiration was to run for office, quite honestly. And when I quit school, I was probably about 20 years old. I quit school. I went to work construction. I worked construction in the field for a couple of years. I made great money. I was always working. I bought a new car, bought a second new car a year later. And I got a job in the office for the Laborers Union where I wore a suit and tie every day. And I thought I had finally arrived. I was 23 years old. I was wearing a suit and tie. I got a car with the job, and I thought things were great. I was partying with my friends on the weekend. I was having fun. I was doing all the things in life that you do when you're 23 years old, except I was doing it in excess. 5 years later, I found myself at a detox. I was in Gosnell. I was sitting in Gosnell. It was a Sunday night. I drove down there. And I went into detox, and I was in there, and I was thinking to myself, what the hell am I doing here? Because I don't belong here. This is not part of my plan. Part of my plan wasn't to wear the slippers they gave me or to sit in a room with a bunch of alcoholics and drug addicts who were struggling with addiction, because I wasn't one of them. Because an alcoholic to me was a person who drank out of a brown paper bag on Boston Common. And I didn't realize at the time, I went down there to get the heat off me, because I had burned bridges. I had burned family bridges, I had burned job bridges, I had burned everything. My life was not going in the direction I had planned it to go, because I wanted to be in politics, and that was not where I was headed. Even though on the outside I was trying to keep it up, going to meetings and going to community meetings and coaching Little League and coaching hockey and coaching basketball, doing all that stuff. But my life was completely out of control, because every time I made a bad decision, I was drunk. And I'd black out. And I didn't know what happened the nights before, and I didn't know what was going on. And I was broke, and all this stuff happened. But when I went into detox, something happened. The first night I was there, I was in a group, a commitment came in. Anyone that doesn't know what a commitment is, other people sharing the story of Alcoholics Anonymous. And I wasn't there to stop drinking, remember that. I sat down in the row and I listened to some guy speak. The first guy spoke. And he said something that kind of triggered something in my brain. And I listened, I said, okay, man, something's going on here. And for the rest of the week when I was in detox, I listened to the counselors. I listened to what a yet is for me. And a yet for me is picking drugs up. And I listened to about progression, a disease of progression. I learned about disease. I learned about all the things that that I didn't know about alcoholism. And when I got out of the detox, I went to 90 meetings roughly in 90 days. I got a sponsor. I joined a group. I asked for help. I got down on my knees. I asked God to keep me away from a drink or a drug for a day. And at night, I got down on my knees and thanked God for keeping me sober for that particular day. And shortly over time, a year and a half later, the person who was my state representative decided that he wasn't going to run for re-election. And I knew instantly I was going to run for state representative. And I put my name on the ballot, and my family didn't want me to run because they thought, they wanted me to kind of keep my job because I was getting my job, my life back, and things started to get better for me. And I ran for state representative, and you know what? I won. And I was elected to serve the state house for Dorchester, the 13th Suffolk District. And I also realized if I wanted to go further in life, I had to do more about my education because now I was a college dropout, basically. And I had a year and a half of college, and I said, how am I going to do this? I went over to Boston College, and I enrolled in night school. So as I was working in the day, I was going to school at night at BC. And I went to school for a long time at night at BC. And I can't tell you the amount of times I quit school driving to school. Meaning I was driving to school, and I'm like, I don't need this. I'm going to quit, not tonight. Or I dropped classes, picked classes up. And I realized I just stuck to it. And the last night of class at Boston College, I remember walking out. I was in the courtyard. It's in the backside on Beacon Street. And I called 3 people. One person was my mother, and I called my mother. I said, Mom, I just graduated college tonight. And she was extremely happy because obviously the American dream is come to America, have your son or daughter or your kids go to college. And she was excited. And I called 2 other people that had told me 20 years before that I would never go back to college to get my degree. And they were in my head for 20 years. And I called them both and I thanked them. And one of them didn't remember, and I said, you said this to me. And I said, I want to thank you for that because I thought about that all the time. Fast forward a little while later, in 2013, Mayor Menino decided that he wasn't going to run for re-election. And when I heard that, I knew instantly I was going to run for mayor of Boston. And I had the chance to run for mayor of Boston. I had a chance to get elected mayor of the city of Boston. And for the last 6 years, I've been mayor of Boston. When I think about that, the day I got sworn in at Boston College. I was the first mayor ever in the history of Boston College, which is kind of funny because you would think that they had a mayor. And the thing that made it great for me is it was a night school mayor. So it wasn't day classes. So it kind of made a little edge for me to say to the rest of the graduates, you couldn't do it. I had to go to night school to do it. And I stood on the stage that day, and I was looking out in the crowd, and there was 8,000 people in the audience. And I thought about my life, about what my journey was to get to that particular moment in my life. And it wasn't a straight line. It was a crooked line. But it was about staying and following your dreams, about making sure that the people in your life that you need to have in your life help you get to that point. Ever since then, I've tried to dedicate my life to helping other people when I ran for office and when I became a state representative. That's what I wanted to do. I believe in second chances because I got more than one second chance, quite honestly. I've been arrested and everything else that comes with it. All of that stuff, but people have given me second chance along the way. I believe in forgiveness. Because if you can't forgive yourself and people can't forgive who you are, what you're all about, then what's the point? It's important, and you have to forgive yourself as well. And I had to forgive myself to some degree and some of the damage I caused when I was drinking, and I had to make amends to people that I hurt during my alcoholism. I believe that no one should be defined by the worst time in their life, although sometimes the worst time in their life defines the person who they are in the future of their life, because they take that opportunity to turn around and move forward. I believe that everyone deserves an opportunity to move forward. These are the values that motivate me as an individual and motivate me as a mayor. I know they motivate Nick Collins as well. That's why we're making investments in the city in recovery services for people battling addiction. I know that when you come to this building for training, you see a lot of sadness and devastation. But also, none of those people that are on the street, in the sidewalk or on the street, right around this building, woke up when they were a kid at one point and said, I want to hang on Melina Cass and Mass Ave. And I want to put a needle in my arm, and I want to become a heroin addict. And I want to smoke crack, and I want to do crystal meth, and I want to drink my life. They don't do that. They didn't do that. That wasn't their intention. But I also believe that it's important for us, as we created the Office of Recovery Services in Boston. It's the first municipal office in recovery services in the United States of America. And it's about helping one person get into treatment that needs that help, about getting back on their feet. We created an office called the Office of Returning Citizens to help people transition back into the communities. Because when people make mistakes, sometimes they have to pay a penalty for that. And when they pay their debt to society and there's nothing there for when they come out, what happens is you go back to the things you only know. So it's about creating that office of returning citizens so we can help people that when they get out, they can get opportunities to see how do we do life differently? How do we get ourselves back on track and do life in a different manner? I'm supporting this office, NECAT, is because it's about workforce development. Because it's about what do you do when you come out? Where do you get that job? How do you get that help? I was fortunate to myself because I had a family that was in the building trades. And I could always work if I wanted to work, but other people don't have that opportunity. People don't have that to fall back on. So NECAT is an incredible resource. The city of Boston supports NECAT. Joey talked about it through our Jobs Trust Funds. From staff in our Financial Empowerment Center in Roxbury, helping coaching, financial coaching. I can honestly tell you that I had no idea how to run a life as far as my money. When I first got sober, my credit rating, I don't even think I had a credit rating. I had credit cards that were full, like full. And I was getting letters saying, you owe money on your credit card. I was not in that case, so we figured the Financial Empowerment Office is about helping people understand how do you build credit? How do you build that opportunity? Our Office of Workforce Development refers graduates to job readiness programs. We take people also here and try and help people. Some of you came from our job readiness training program that came here to get a skill, to be able to take that skill and put it into something else, something that's really important. I'm proud to work with NECAT, and I'm proud of this organization because from the first day Martin talked to me about it, he wanted to make real impact in people's lives. It just doesn't teach job skills. You learn life skills. We all learn life skills every single day. It doesn't matter if I'm the mayor of Boston or your first day in NECAT, we all got to learn life skills every day. We're constantly learning and evolving. Students and graduates with new confidence, you have new outlooks. Everyone in this place should be happy. Now, you might have situations going on in your life that aren't perfect. But today, at this particular moment, you should be proud of yourself. You should be proud of the accomplishments. Because whatever's going on in your life and your family, through the fact that you have the skills today, you can change all that. You can change all that by using your skills and getting an opportunity for employment and getting an opportunity for a job and changing the whole trajectory of your family for the future. That's something that's important. There's bigger supports here for you. The supports are in this room, but you might think you're in this alone. Let me just tell you a couple of things. The board of directors is behind you, because if the board of directors weren't behind you, they wouldn't be investing in this program. The staff and the teachers and the chefs and the cooks are behind you. If they didn't believe in the work you're doing, they wouldn't be here today. Susie's behind you because she understands the importance of making sure that this program stays strong and you have the confidence and the help that you need. Nick Collins in the state Senate is behind you. You have 40 senators you never met before that voted for the line item in the budget to fund this program from all over the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, Democrats and Republicans. You have 160 state representatives from across the Commonwealth that are behind you because they voted on a budget that supported this program. You have 13 city councils in the city of Boston behind you because we fund the programs that I talked about a minute ago, the job training programs and the financial empowerment offices and all the different programs that we have. And you have the mayor of the city of Boston behind you because the mayor understands how important this is, and I understand how important this is that you're successful. Because you're a story. Your life is a book. Your life is a story. And that story is successful today. That doesn't mean challenges go away. Challenges are still going to be there. But it's about you now, what you do with these challenges and these opportunities to turn it around. You have new networks and new mentors that support you and love you. And I think that's important. To all the graduates, I want to end with this. I want to congratulate you on this milestone. You've earned it. Your careers and your stories are having a new chapter. You have an opportunity, regardless of what happened in the past, to turn the page. There's a blank piece of paper. It's up to you to write that story. And that story should be one of success. That story should be one of determination. That story should be one of accomplishment. That story should be one of pride. When you look in the mirror tonight, when you go to bed, you should be proud of who you're looking at. Because you had an opportunity here, and you took this opportunity, and you did something special with it. I want you to know that I'm certainly rooting for you. Your city's rooting for you. enjoy this moment that you're in today. I want to wish you best of luck in the next steps. And when I see you at a restaurant, I want you to send over an hors d'oeuvre to my table.
Thank you so much for sharing your personal journey. All that you said is all that we're all about, and we're just so enormously grateful we have someone like you championing for us, so thank you very much. Now it's my privilege to bring up Bradley Ford, who is going to represent his class, cohort 32. And so you okay? Nice and loud?
Okay. First of all, I'd just like to say thank you, Mayor, for that shot in the eye. I really, I felt that, and I can identify. It's great. Mayor Walsh, Senator Collins, family and friends of Cohort 32 Elite. I thank you for your presence and support in our celebration of what will be our next challenge in the world of culinary arts. For me, I never knew how the teachings of my mother and father would serve me so well today. Watching them solve problems at the dinner table, interacting with each other, discussing things, including us in the family, was considered the building blocks of what I am today. I miss them times, and I consider myself fortunate to have both of them. My father's integrity and my mother's communication skills helped me understand the importance of family love. So for this, I am truly grateful. This experience in the field of culinary arts has given us an opportunity to grow into a new family. One with the same support and love found in life, where you can express who you are creatively and affect others in the process. My elite cohort brothers and sisters, under the guidance of our chefs, life coaches, employment counselors, administrators, and staff support, I believe, have developed that bond. To show love and to give love in a medium of life skills, good food, and artistry. It is up to all of us to make that happen. The staff here stretched us and continues to challenge us in the arts of good culinary. As black hats, we have learned the art of making food taste good as well as making it safe to eat. Under Chef Bob's tutelage, we learned and were tested every day. To leave class in the end of the day, you had to answer one of his questions. And believe you me, he had a knack for asking the question that would challenge you or that you were struggling with. Being an orange hat, technique is the key. And Drill Sergeant, Chef Tom, made sure you learned the correct and the safe way to use the equipment, hopefully without hurting yourself and others. And if you grew up with bad habits like leaving the water running in the sink, best believe that you'd be corrected to the point of watching other staff members and your former cohorts at that fountain. Make sure that that water was off. Right. Chef Page helped us learn organizational skills in respects to banquets and functions. And if you need help in the kitchen with the math and measuring ingredients, she was willing and eager to help and give when help was needed. But let's not forget the need to present yourself in a professional manner, to recognize those issues of how to manage your life outside of NECAT. The discussions that I had with life coach Derek proved huge. Being able to look at yourself and recognize your weak and embrace your strong points was huge for me. To realize you are not alone in this quest, and the empathy that you had for others in the class proved to be a soothing balm of encouragement when we got to be an orange hat. Finally, the part of NECAT that keeps on giving, Vic and John, our employment counselors. Vic's passion and John's connections and his wit and the opportunity to prove your skills in the class by giving you good resumes and proving that you were worthy of your position. So yes, NECAT is a family. And my wish with all families is that sometime in the future, we, the Cohort 32 elite, could meet sometime in the future and discuss our exemplary behavior and our passion for making good food for everybody to eat. I love you guys. And on a personal note, I just want to give thanks to the ladies of NECAT, some of which have children, some of which have their own struggles, but they came and they persevered, and they just made us look so good. And to you fellas, strong leaders that you are, coming in and first not knowing what you were going to do and how you were going to do it, but in the end, I tell you guys, and you guys, and you gals can come to my function anytime because you're all that good. On a personal note, one of my jobs as a photographer, I did it for 40 years. I got to meet a lot of greats, including that woman that's up in the back, was considered one of her youngest fans. The passion that I use for that, I do in homage to my family and my mother, who taught me how to cook. And so I'm grateful for not only NECAT, but my newfound friends and family. Thank you so much.
Well said. You do us all proud. Now to the best part of the program, or the most anticipated part of the program, the issuing of certificates. Victor, you want to come up? Elise, Senator, Your Honor, you want to help us here in our assembly line? We'll give you a job. Why don't you come over here? You keep the nose of the commerce.
Good afternoon. My name is Vic Acosta. I'm the Director of Career Services, and thank goodness for all the eloquence that has been shared today, because you won't find that with me. I'm here to share some wonderful stuff about each person. And please, families and supporters, this is the time to be obnoxious in your support. Okay, so just let it out. Our first student came here with extraordinary skills and a plan to head into management. She came at a difficult time in her career, but she managed to learn here the proper road and path. Ladies and gentlemen, Sandra Alexis.
Congratulations.
next student came here with a lot of wisdom to share. I could have sworn he came in here in a Harley. But he also asked the hard questions, always spoke his truth, and now he's going on to learn even more. Ladies and gentlemen, Raymond Acoin.
Ray, could you just come up and have a picture right here?
picture right here.
And Sandra? Yeah, just as you come through, if you could just
Stop here and
pause.
take a picture.
Yeah, show the, just open up your, yeah. Yeah, we just don't want to miss that. Okay.
Thank you, Ray.
Face forward, smile.
Get out of this way.
Okay.
Okay. Sandra,
Sandra.
I promise you, you don't look like that. Our next graduate came here with intent, but she didn't quite know the path. When we sat down to discuss graduation, she said, "Please don't say anything bad about me." There's nothing bad we can say, except she always brings a smile to our face, and now she has the discipline and the professionalism to go where she needs to go. Ranil De Barbosa. Row, row.
Let's go, row.
When in class, this young lady has a very quiet voice. She had been through a lot in life, but she found that voice, and when she had every intent to use it for what her class and she needed, she used it. Ladies and gentlemen, Tamia Chambers. There she is. This young man showed us how paths to opportunity require courage and a voice and determination. He's taken this path and he's learned. Ladies and gentlemen, Ron Cupid. Ron, right over here. No photo? Okay. This young man is all about gravity and seriousness and understanding where his path is taking him. But what was great about it as well is that he guided his cohort in the same way and he helped everyone with it. Ladies and gentlemen, Darius Dumont.
Oh, how's it going, everybody? Hello? Hello? I'll say everybody's. I'm good at
Hey, it's the quiet man.
I like that. Be quiet there. Nobody likes you. Oh, yeah, I'm good. Don't judge my hair, man. I had hair.
Thank you, Chef. I appreciate it. Let's see if we can make it work for you. Thank you very much, Mayor Walsh. You're the man. Appreciate it. Nick.
Our next student came here from a background that challenged him. His voice as silky smooth as it gets. And he used it very loud to show us how it's done, how to pursue a career in the face of everything. Ladies and gentlemen, Peter Feldman. The next person needs no introduction. He's the rock of our cohort, representative of Elite 32. Ladies and gentlemen, Bradley Ford.
Here's that hat, bro.
Good job, Bradley.
This next gentleman came here with a lot of passion, passionately engaged, and he came here and learned how to use that passion to speak up for himself, get himself good work. Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Frangillo. He was here for breakfast every day. Day one. And if he wasn't there, he was in the kitchen learning, and if he wasn't there, he was on the computer seeking work. That's where he was. He's working man. He's tough as nails. Ladies and gentlemen, David Hope. The next one's going to be a very introduction. Hey, hey, hey! Hey, hey, hey! I don't even need to say name.
Glenn, we got to get some bling.
Our next graduate came here with a lot of attitude. Sat here in the classroom, showed it, talked about it. When he called out reality, everyone in the classroom knew what he was talking about. Graduating now, he's got a good job, and we all learn from him because he brings in the reality here. Ladies and gentlemen, Willie LaShore.
Well, you're a good friend.
It is.
Yeah, boy.
All right, well.
Our next student, hard to miss. He came here knowing all that, and then some. But he learned most that what he learns only is of value if it leads to helping people. Ladies and gentlemen, Big John McCullough.
All right, John.
Camera one, camera two. Big worm.
Our next student is a mom. She's a recent immigrant. She came here understanding that there would be challenges and that language would be one. She got some of the highest grades we had. She is all power and very strong, and she's very gracious. She's huge. Jennifer, come on up. Our next student came here terrified that he came with no culinary experience, no background in any of this. As I understand it, he dropped a squash in the kitchen, which we'll never forget. And of course, he graduated with one of the best jobs we know of. Ladies and gentlemen, Domingo Rivera. Our last student, who is very much representative of what we do. She's a full-time mom with her intent on stabilizing her family. She came to NECAT to help do so. She faced all the challenges a single mother does while taking on a full-time culinary training program, and often did so with humor, even though sometimes she knew that it was just too much for her. Ladies and gentlemen, Lydia Rodriguez.
So proud of you.
You already know, Derek.